Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics right now, and something that doesn't get enough attention in the conversation that we've been having about artificial intelligence. I want to talk about mistakes. We spend a lot of time on this podcast discussing AI risks in the context of compliance programs, regulatory exposure, third party liability, and governance frameworks. And those are all critically important topics. But today, I want to get more fundamental than that. Today, I want to talk about the fact that AI gets things wrong, sometimes badly wrong, and that in high stakes professional environments, those errors can cause serious, serious harm. Now, I recognize I may be sounding a little unfair to technology, a little bit of the boy who cries wolf, but this, uh, there's no doubt that AI offers remarkable capabilities, but, and I am not anti AI, I use the AI tools regularly. I find them valuable for research, drafting, synthesis, and productivity in ways that would have seemed extraordinary just a few years ago. But I also believe that the compliance and professional communities have an obligation to be honest about the risks of AI, including the risk of inaccuracy. And right now, I don't think we're being honest enough. So let me start with something simple. Every time you interact with Claude or ChatGPT, there is a disclaimer. Quote, AI can make mistakes, close quote. You've seen it. We all scroll past it every day. Let's not scroll past it for a second. That disclaimer is not boilerplate legal protection. It is a genuine warning about a genuine limitation of these systems, a limitation that has real consequences in the professional context where AI is increasingly being deployed. Now, let me explain the specific nature of the problem because it is more subtle than people realize. The issue is not simply that AI makes mistakes. All tools have limitations. All research requires verification. The issue is that AI makes mistakes with confidence. These systems do not hedge the way a careful professional does. They do not, by definition, have the judgment and expertise that a human being can bring to an equation and into a task. They don't pause, look uncertain, and say, you may want to double check this. They generate fluent, authoritative, well structured responses, and they embed errors inside that polished presentation in ways that are genuinely difficult to detect if you are not already an expert in the subject matter. This phenomena has a name, hallucination, and it is not a bug that will be engineered away in the next model update. Hallucination is an inherent characteristic of how large language models work. They generate probabilistic outputs based on patterns in training and learning data. When they reach the edges of their knowledge, or when a question requires nuanced judgment that the training data does not capture well, they do not stop. They continue generating output plausibly, fluently, and sometimes entirely incorrectly. Let me tell you about my own experience. I've practiced in the areas of compliance, white collar defense, and corporate governance for a long time. These are technical fields with complex regulatory frameworks, nuanced case law, and substantial practical judgment requirements. And I can tell you from direct personal experience, AI tools make significant mistakes in these areas, not occasionally, regularly. So I've seen AI systems cite cases that do not exist, fabricated citations presented with full course names, citations, court designations, and a statement, affirmative statement of a purported holding of a case that simply are wrong. They're not real. I have seen AI misstate the holdings of real cases, accurately describing that a case exists, but getting the legal principle it stands for exactly wrong. And I'm not just saying slightly wrong, I'm saying completely wrong. I've seen AI conflate regulatory frameworks, mixing up requirements from different statutes, different agencies, or different jurisdictions in ways that would lead a practitioner to a completely incorrect conclusion. And here's what makes this genuinely dangerous. For a non-expert, these errors are essentially invisible. The output looks correct. The output looks great. It's formatted properly. It uses the right vocabulary. It reads like authoritative legal analysis. There's nothing on the surface to signal that the substance underneath is wrong. A junior attorney who makes an error produces work that a senior attorney reviews and corrects. That is how legal quality control works. An AI system that makes an error produces output that, if used without expert review, if used without reviewing the cases themselves, may never be corrected at all. And the downstream consequences in legal and compliance practice are not hypothetical. Bad legal analysis leads to bad decisions. Bad decisions lead to missed risks and regulatory exposure. Bad decisions in litigation lead to failed defenses. Bad decisions in transactional matters lead to deals that close on faulty assumptions. These are not abstract concerns. They are the real world consequences of deploying AI tools in high stakes environments without adequate human verification. Now, let me be very clear about the practical lesson here. The lesson is not that you should stop using AI. That's not what I'm saying. The lesson is that you should stop treating AI output as a final product. AI is a starting point, a research assistant, a drafting tool, a synthesis engine. It is genuinely good at all of those things, but it is not and cannot currently be a replacement for expert human judgment in complex professional domains. That means every organization deploying AI in legal, compliance, medical, financial, or other high stakes contexts needs to build human verification into their workflow as a structural requirement. Not an occasional check, not a periodic review, not a sampling, a mandatory systematic step before any AI generated work product is relied upon. What does that look like in practice? It means expert review of AI generated analyses before it informs decisions. It means source verification, actually confirming that the cases, regulations, statistics, and factual claims the AI cites exist and say what the AI claims they say. It means applying contextual judgment that only a domain expert possesses, understanding not just whether the output is technically accurate, but whether it is complete, appropriate, and fit for the specific purpose at hand. And it means organizational policies that explicitly govern how AI tools are used in high-stakes work, including who's responsible for verifying AI outputs before they are acted upon. For organizations that have deployed AI broadly without these verification structures, this is a risk management gap that deserves immediate attention. There is also a broader professional responsibility dimension here. The standard of care in law, medicine, finance, and other professional fields does not change because a new tool is available. Lawyers are still responsible for the accuracy of their legal work, regardless of whether they drafted it personally or used an AI assistant. Compliance officers are still accountable for the soundness of their risk assessments. Doctors are still responsible for their clinical judgment. AI can assist all of those functions. It cannot and does not absorb the professional responsibility that attaches to them. The AI industry celebrates capability, and rightfully so. There's a hysteria going on about it. These systems are remarkable, but remarkable capability and reliable accuracy are not the same thing. Take the disclaimer seriously. Build your verification controls accordingly, and make sure the human experts in your organization remain genuinely engaged with the work, not simply signing off on an AI output that they have not rigorously reviewed. Because at the end of the day, when something goes wrong, It will not be the AI that answers for it. It will be you and me. Thanks again for joining me today. Look forward to speaking with you again soon.